Master Chief.
This week on Video Game Nation, grab your friends, 2 guns and a half-naked computer lady. It's the Halo special. I'll tell you if the much-hyped Halo 5 is really the Jar Jar Binks of the series. We'll chart the history of Microsoft's signature space opera. Dan discusses modern-day co-op, and our covenant of elite journos, comedians and bloggers chat multiplayer, then jump ship to Destiny.
What I think is more likely to happen is they'll probably release more £40 expansion packs.
That's this week on Video Game Nation. Hello television friends, high def, high five. You know, if you write the word Halo into Google, you won't find a single damn result about angels until about 20 pages in, which means that Microsoft's signature space shooter is, as far as search engine results go, bigger than Jesus. In fact, Halo is very much like the Bible. There's a complicated story that's been an excuse for a lot of violence, the hero occasionally comes back from the dead, and the Americans are the good guys. What? That's not in the Bible? Oh, somebody tell their army. For 14 years, the Halo series has been marketed as the Xbox's killer app. Its main games and countless spin-offs chart a future war between alien fanatics hell-bent on exterminating the human race and the human race, who don't seem to like that idea at all. There's horrific forces of nature, planet-destroying genocide machines, that bloke off Firefly, the other blokes off Firefly, an invincible warrior, and a sassy blue computer who gets all the best lines. But the billion-dollar hype machine wasn't always ads on the side of buses and front of YouTube. The game started in 1998 with the unlikely title, Monkey Nuts. The studio in charge was Bungie, whose first FPS was the futuristic shooter Marathon, released exclusively for the Apple Mac in 1995. Bungie were darlings of the Mac scene, releasing games back when almost no one else was doing that for that platform, and their fan base loved them for it. But this would change, and so would something else. Monkey Nuts got a new name when one of its creators just couldn't bring himself to say Monkey Nuts in front of his mum. Isn't that nice? With the title switched to Halo, an early build was demoed at Macworld 99. The game was going to be out on Mac and then eventually PC. However, Bungie secretly announced it on a Marathon forum, so that's the Mac's most popular FPS, and then officially announced it at a Mac event with Apple CEO Steve Jobs on stage. So the game that you associate as being Microsoft's signature FPS was originally going to be a third-person adventure released by Microsoft's biggest commercial rivals. But Microsoft liked Halo so much they did what all billion-dollar companies do. They bought the studio, which fixed that. So, a Spartan just grew out of a monkey nut. The future is assured. And we asked our panel, what was your favourite Halo?
Favourite Halo game? I mean, I love Halo. The first Halo will always hold a special place in my heart. But then the hype I had for 2 and 3 also hold a very strong place in my heart. So probably all of them, except maybe 4.
Halo 3, without a doubt, is my favourite. Halo 1 was great, wicked game, but if you didn't have 4 people, it wouldn't be so fun.
My favourite Halo game has got to be the original Halo 1. I used to get people round, we get 4 Xboxes connected with cables, 4 TVs, and it was just excellent. The thing about Halo 1 was that the pistol was ludicrously powerful. You could kill someone with 3 shots to the head, and in every subsequent Halo game they'd nerfed it. I was so good with that pistol.
I haven't got a favourite Halo game. I don't know, is there one about like a big man in like a big spaceman's helmet, like going around shooting everyone? Then that's my favourite. Oh, it's all of them? Oh fine, I love all of them.
Halo 1 was released on the Xbox in November 2001. A console FPS with co-op play, you and a friend could save the universe from the comfort of the same couch. The big hits were the LAN deathmatches and the story. Halo 1 had a storyline far larger and cinematic than anything Doom, Quake or Duke Nukem had done up until that point. I'm not saying it's a Citizen Kane-like masterpiece, it's a game about a green dude who shoots other greener dudes. However, the universe is huge, and in the first game there's a massive plot twist right in the middle. There were no plot twists in any of the Dooms, Quakes or Duke Nukems. You know why? Because they don't have plots. Halo's marketing machine is ridiculous, and Halo 2's birth was announced via an alternate reality game about a rogue AI from the future who lived inside a website about beekeeping. After his 2004 claim that he was going back to finish this fight, Master Chief bounced back in 2007. Halo 3 was the first Halo game for the Xbox 360, had multiplayer and local co-op, and was a commercial and critical success. Do you see a pattern here? It even got its own sequel, Halo 3 ODST, which introduced my favourite character, Buck.
I'm on my way.
In 2010, Bungie released its final game in the series, a prequel focusing on the massacre that leads into Halo 1. Released in September 2010, Halo Reach was the prequel fans of Alien thought they were getting when Prometheus came out. A tragedy that laid the bloody foundations for Master Chief's wars against the Covenant, Reach was Bungie's swan song. Not an ending, but more appropriate for a game named Halo, a franchise coming full circle. And then, in the great tradition of the games industry, they made some more games. In 2009, Halo's production was handed over to 343 Industries, a division of Microsoft named for the Halo character 343 Guilty Spark. In 2012, 343 released Halo 4, multi-platform marketing, local and online multiplayer, critical and commercial success, yada, 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 yada. So, Halo's main legacy is its cinematic story and that multiplayer. Before we get on to our review of Halo 5, we asked the panel, how does Halo's multiplayer stack up when compared to other shooters?
Well, Halo's multiplayer is really traditionally old school, and I think that gives it more of a drop-in feeling. Like I think there's more of that feeling of just, it's fun, and you can just jump in and run around and have fun.
I think for a lot of people it was the first time they really got into multiplayer because like the tech could handle it and it was good, and it's always kind of got that kind of special place like in people's hearts is the sort of one thing that really got them into playing kind of online.
Traditionally, the difference between something like Halo and Call of Duty is that in Call of Duty it's very quick. You get hit a couple times and you're gone. Something like Halo, because of the regenerating shield, there's room for a bit more tactical thinking. You can get hit a couple of times and still get away. Whereas in Call of Duty, very often you just get shot in the head immediately and that's you done.
So, it's the fifth main instalment of a monster series, but has the Star Wars of video games become so inbred, it's accidentally produced its own six-fingered cousin? First up, Halo 5 is two games that have been released as one. The first and best is an incredibly fun, rich, lush-looking bunch of multiplayer maps and modes. I'm a particularly big fan of the wreck mechanic. Anything that gives unskilled players like me the chance to earn new toys just by participating is fine with me and my terrible fingers. The graphics are crisp, the time I spent online wasn't laggy, and I could gladly play in the Warzone again and again and again and again. Multiplayer here is a great balls-to-the-wall spectacle. This is the Valhalla the Vikings thought they went to when they died. Endless combat, lots of action, few consequences, tons of fun. The downsides are no local network play and the death of split-screen co-op. Because Microsoft is your daddy now and you can only have friends who own their own copies of Halo 5. And no, they can't come round the house. They're dirty. Halo 5's main campaign isn't a solo player story, it's really a co-op mode that can coincidentally be played alone. You command two different teams of Spartans, all of whom can be controlled by your friends. As long as they have their own copies of Halo 5. Once the initial joy has washed away like the blood of a grunt, Halo 5's main campaign is a repetitive bullet hell shooter with added squad mechanics. Where respawning once happened, it's now delayed by your AI team trying to fix you up. For difficulty, I realised that I slotted somewhere between easy and normal, like a kid falling down the gap between the train and the platform. On normal, I was constantly outgunned. On easy, you see this? What's that? That is the most effective attack in easy mode. Don't even bother picking up a gun, just run around with your elbows. They're deadly. Do the chicken dance. You'll kill everybody. It's a bit unbalanced is the point I'm making. The more of Halo 5's campaign I played, the more I wondered if I was missing something. Characters would talk about places and events like I understood what they were. Now this isn't normally an issue, but the problem was, it wasn't particularly well written or interesting. I didn't care, and I wasn't given any reason to. You start off with Agent Locke, formerly of Oni, now upgraded to a Spartan on the hunt for Master Chief. If you know what that means in Halo, good for you. If not, this is a story that literally boils down to, this time, it's personal. Series mascot Master Chief has gone rogue, so non-rogue Locke chases him. Woo. Expecting a life-changing solo experience in Halo 5 is wrong. That's not what the game was made to give you. You also won't get a terrific movie out of the game's main campaign. The multiplayer is tremendous, but the campaign story is a big, important episode of a TV series for people who've been watching every episode of that TV series. Halo has a rich backstory, but it's just a backstory. In this game, some stuff is happening. Why should I care? And between these long stretches of colourless narrative when the game actually takes place, should I just shoot at random or get out the elbows? We asked the panel, have 343 Industries successfully continued Halo's legacy?
I'd say 343 are doing a really good job. They're following the pattern that Bungie set up, which is listening to their community and putting a lot of emphasis on the community, which Bungie did brilliantly, and 343 have definitely continued.
Taking on Halo can't have been easy for 343 with all that expectation, both from a business perspective, because it's Microsoft's biggest game, and also just it's so beloved by fans. So I think that any studio would have done well to even maintain the standard. The fact that 343's actually made it really good is a bonus.
They have to a degree. I think they did a great job with Halo 4. Hopefully Halo 5, they will kind of take the reins a bit and say, right, we're taking it in this direction now. Forget what Bungie established. It's 343 now, all day. That's what they need to do.
There are great things inside Halo 5. The multiplayer is superb. The cowardly grunts are still cute and tremendously fun to murder. The storyline with the different ships' computers interested me. It looks great and controls wonderfully. But with so much artistry and power at work, it's a shame that the main campaign's gameplay goes cutscene, firefight, open door, firefight, firefight to open door, cutscene, same boss as before, cutscene, repeat. It's fun in bursts and the graphics are terrific, so why not just go with what it's made for and play multiplayer? If 343 wants to tell a cinematic story so badly, they either need to get better at doing it in-game or finally make that Halo feature film Peter Jackson used to keep talking about. And when you've got 2K hiring Spike Lee to direct their basketball games, is it so wrong to pray that the man who made The Lord of the Rings will do Halo 6? Coming up after the break, our panel of talking heads jump over to Bungie's second child, Destiny, and Dan gets to grips with co-op play. See you in a bit.
It's almost like people who are loyal to Destiny have got the video gaming equivalent of Stockholm Syndrome.
At 9, Sky Atlantic HD.
Welcome back. Now, they may have shed their halo, but publisher Bungie is now also famous for its other spacefaring franchise, Destiny. Our team of talking heads will now apply their brains to the game that rode the hype train till it crashed, then climbed out of the wreckage and just kept walking.
I think there are lots of reasons why Destiny's popular. Obviously there's the MMO elements, there's the on-the-fly matchmaking, there's these great big sprawling missions, there's sophisticated combat. But I think the key thing is that it's a bit like Halo.
It's that combination of just instant gratification and then like long-term, deep-rooted psychological addiction that's really bad.
Destiny, it's weird. I think it's sort of cool to go on and be like, oh, Destiny's awful, it's such a bad game. Particularly like from a press standpoint, a lot of people seem to like to talk about how bad Destiny is, despite most of the time having played loads of it, which I have. And I think the reason it's so popular is because it's really good.
The thing about Destiny is that every single second of it feels really good. The very act of pointing and shooting at robots and aliens feels amazing. The animation of the guns, the reload animations, the colorfulness of it all, the way that the robots or aliens can crumple or explode, every second of it, everything that you do feels amazing on a second-to-second basis. And that's the thing that propels you through. It then combines this with this longer-term addictive loop of loot drops, and that just turns it into this very potent, addictive cocktail.
I don't know why Destiny is as popular as it is. I'll be honest with you, it's Halo Online. That's it.
I think Bungie have worked really hard after quite an unsteady start to kind of improve the way they work with the community and improve the game, obviously. And I think they've done really well at that. You know, they're really engaged with the hardcore players, and there's millions of people playing this game every night. So, you know, they're doing something right.
I think the first year of Destiny has been a really rocky road. I think that Bungie struggled with maintaining that connection with the community. A lot of people in the wake of the first year have complained that, oh, you know, was the first year just basically the beta period for Destiny? Like, now you've gone in and you've changed so much of the game, you've essentially fixed all the problems, but it means that people have spent hours doing things that are now completely redundant. There's absolutely no reason that they had to do them apart from, you know, I guess it was fun or something at the time. But that's kind of the problem with Destiny, I think, is that so much of the game is hooked around this leveling system and this loot system that, you know, there's all these reasons to play that aren't just, it's fun.
Destiny a year ago to now is completely different, and most of that is because of community feedback, which is what Bungie has always been about, from Halo all the way up to Destiny. So they've done a brilliant job doing that.
Destiny had a really weird first year. We had an article on Kotaku recently about how it was, the whole story of Destiny was essentially ditched and had to be restarted very, very shortly before launch in game development terms. So I think what happened when Destiny launched is that it was only semi-finished, and so really what's been happening over the last year is it's being brought up to standard. So I think that people who've been playing it for all that time before are thinking, why have I been playing a game that wasn't finished? But people who are just starting Destiny now or who weren't that invested before are finding it much, much more exciting to play. So in a sense, yes, they're definitely succeeding in building a community, but I think that's partly just because the first year of the game was quite troubled.
The key to any kind of MMO community is this kind of constant leveling up, and then, you know, oh, there's like this new exclusive hat, like after 12 levels, and you're like, hey guys, I want this new hat, and even though it took you like 2 days, and you're like, well, why would I never do that in real life for a hat? Apparently I will in the game.
I genuinely can't understand how there are gaming fans still loyal to Destiny, because it just seems the amount they've been messed around with as the game's been updated, and things like the light system with 2.0 are just big on, now you work for thousands of hours on that, that's gone, forget about that. It's dreadful. It's almost like people who are loyal to Destiny have got the video gaming equivalent of Stockholm Syndrome.
I think Destiny's just going to grow and grow. Like I say, if you look at just a year ago to where we are now, and they've got this 10-year plan with Activision, I think mostly because it costs loads of money, and they're like, you best make a lot of money back, which is fair, because that's how business works. But it's just going to grow and get better and better until it's, for a lot of people describe it as the game that they kind of thought it was going to be, but for me, it's just getting better.
I think Bungie have learned a lot in the first year of Destiny, and I think they can apply that really well to the future ongoing. Like, I think they've realized that you do need a story, and you do need some character and some humor in your world. You can't just be po-faced and serious all the time. People, if they're going to be coming into your world all the time, if they're going to be going there every single day, it needs to be like World of Warcraft, where there's that element of fun. Like, Warcraft, as serious as it can get, is also just fun and colourful, and that's what people want out of it, even if it is a more mature sci-fi shooter.
What is the future for Destiny? I do like that they've just put in, you know, you can do Carlton's dance from the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air. I think that's brilliant. And I'd like to see more classic dances from 90s American sitcoms. So maybe like, you know, the dance from the opening credits of Blossom, or like there's an episode of Saved by the Bell where Lisa sprains her ankle, but she and Screech still win the dancing competition by doing a dance called The Sprain. It'd be brilliant. I'd like that to happen. What I think is more likely to happen is they'll probably release more £40 expansion packs.
If they want to bring more players onto Destiny and expand their player base and their audience, what they need to do is bring Destiny back to the PC space. I mean, it's a console game, yes, but when you look at the interface, how it controls, how it plays, it's a PC game that can't find its way home.
I will bet you money that we'll see a Destiny 2 in 2016, or maybe 2017, but I think 2016. And that it's going to be one of Activision's go-to franchises for years to come. They've already said there's a 10-year plan for it, but I don't think that means that we're not going to see a Destiny 2, Destiny 3.
The future for Destiny is ever dwindling sales with each add-on until they quietly admit defeat and go and make something better.
Halo 5's 4-player co-op is such an integral part of the story and the game that it's only available to play online for those who paid for an Xbox Gold membership. Wait, what?
Fans of Halo's split-screen local co-op are understandably spitting feathers about this omission. Completing the game's campaign while perched on the same sofa is a long-held tradition for many, and one that Halo 5 has casually shot down like a Covenant grunt. Destiny, another co-op focused shooter ideally suited to local play, also deprived players the chance to enjoy the game with company present.
In both cases, the creators claimed that abandoning a cozy cooperative experience was purely a technical decision, but the public seemed unconvinced, with some going so far as to petition 343 and Bungie to reconsider. I'm not sure it's an issue worthy enough to sit alongside the liberation of political prisoners or taxation on women's sanitary products, but it's nice to be passionate about something.
So is this the death knell sounding for local co-op? Well, no. Even in shooty shootman's land, there are just as many new games supporting local play as there are ones spitefully excluding it like an unpopular schoolchild. Star Wars Battlefront has Missions Mode, which can be played with a friend offline, and Call of Duty Black Ops 3 features 2-player support for the campaign and 4-player local split screen for multiplayer and zombies.
Speaking to business magazine Forbes, Black Ops 3's multiplayer director Dan Bunting highlighted the fact that it's a lot easier to gather data on the number of people playing online versus those enjoying multiplayer offline. Ultimately, his decision was based on anecdotal evidence, that is, the number of people on social media requesting its inclusion.
There's no doubting that the proliferation of online gaming has reduced the demand for local co-op. However, there's a nagging feeling that its increasing absence is down to the stereotypical notion of the solo gamer household, which completely ignores all those filled with families, students, friends and couples who love nothing more than gaming together.
And why shouldn't they? Local co-op has been a gaming staple ever since it was born in the arcades, where it provided an opportunity for friends and total strangers to bond over a mutual desire to spend as little cash as possible.
Some of my fondest childhood memories are of battling through the likes of Bubble Bobble, Double Dragon, Final Fight, Captain Commando, anything alliterative basically, with the aid of a pal or some rando who decided to lend a helping hand. And on those rare occasions that we actually made it through to the end with our limited supply of 10p's, the sense of accomplishment went far beyond anything I'd encountered flying solo.
And that love of shared achievement has never left me since. It's rare that an online cooperative experience has ever captured the same energy, hilarity, and sense of camaraderie. Although the likes of Destiny and Monster Hunter 4 Ultimate do have their moments.
And the truth is that I've been spoilt for choice if I've ever felt like collaborating with my friends rather than pummeling their virtual faces in. The last generation of local co-op champions alone also represent some of the best games of the era. Super Mario 3D World, Portal 2, Rock Band, Spelunky, Gears of War, Rayman Legends, Battle Block Theatre and Lego Everything have all continued a rich tradition of superlative couch co-op experiences.
Whenever a game with so much promise for local larks ends up shunning them to focus exclusively on online, it's disappointing, perverse even. We're supposed to party up with our friends, but only if they're sat in their own homes. It really makes no sense. Yes, local co-op might mean that the graphics have to take a hit, and yes, playing on half or even a quarter of the screen keeps spec saves in business, but these sacrifices pale in comparison to the sheer entertainment playing together, and I mean really together, provides.
So what of the games that deny us that sweet local hookup? Well, a magical device called Screens has you covered. At least it will when it launches early next year. It effectively allows you to display multiple inputs on a single screen. So as long as you don't mind hooking 2 consoles up to your telly, you'll be able to emulate the local experience while also keeping one eye on your Twitter feed and the latest episode of Jeremy Kyle.
That such a high-tech solution to preserving one of the oldest forms of multiplayer exists at all is testament to the fact that local co-op is here to stay, no matter what some publishers might think. Now who's up for a spot of Metal Slug? Ooh, me.
That's it for this week. Leave your thoughts, feelings and your rampancy affected AI on the Video Game Nation Facebook page, or tweet at us at #VGN, where you will discover that we are all AIs from the future. And we all love bees. See ya.
£1 million drop. We are greasing the trapdoors as we speak, ready for 9 PM tomorrow. At the same time, over on Pick, the Night Cops return as officers descend on dear old Swindon.